friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Megan here with Bookmas Day 12. First off, I wanted to apologize for going MIA for the last week. I was in the midst of my Christmas Carol performances and those kind of took over my life this weekend, and then I went into a busy week at work, and here we are. But with all that being said, I'm excited to share with you the promised video from day 11, which is the book swap prompts for 2025. In this video, I'm only going to do the first half of the year, so I'm going to do January through June, and then I will do July through December in a separate part 2 video coming very soon, so stay tuned for that. If you aren't aware of what I'm talking about, my day 11 video, I discussed how over the course of 2024 my friend Marie and I did a book swap together. So we came up with themes for each month and then swapped books in those themes, and then we read the books that we sent to each other. With that being said, I'm gearing up for 2025 and I've come up with a list of 5 prompts per month of ideas for 2025, and I wanted to share them with you here. So now that we've got that introduction out of the way, let's go ahead and get into January. For January, the theme is all about a new year, a new start, basically everything you think of when you think of January. So prompt number 1 is the word new in the title. Prompt number 2 is a debut. This could be a author debut or a genre debut. If you don't know what I mean when I say that, I'm talking about an author who is pretty well known for a very specific genre and then they try a new genre. A good example of this would be Rebecca Yarros. Fourth Wing was her fantasy debut, if I'm thinking correctly there. I wasn't super aware of Rebecca Yarros, but I believe Fourth Wing was her fantasy debut. So if one of your favorite authors is trying a new genre for the very first time, go ahead and use that book as a prompt. 3 is for a nonfiction. As I said, it's all about New Year's resolutions and getting a new start. So a nonfiction that is kind of like a self-help or somehow improves your life or is in regards to one of your resolutions, that would be a good book to send to your swap partner. And finally, number 5 is a book set in winter because January is in the winter season. Moving on to February. Disclaimer, yes, most of these are Valentine's romance themed, but I do have one that is not. So kicking us off, we have number 1, a favorite romance trope. So whatever your personal favorite romance trope is what you would send to your swap partner, and then they would send theirs to you. Tropes could include anything from enemies to lovers, to friends to lovers, love triangle, just one bed, anything like that. Whatever your favorite trope is, that is the prompt. Next is a red cover, a book where the predominant color on the cover is red. Book 3 is an iconic couple. So this could be a classic such as Pride and Prejudice. It could be Little Women. It could be even a very prominent fantasy, or even Bridgerton, I feel like, is a predominant iconic couple at this point. Any book with an iconic couple. Number 4 is a book with a heart shape on the cover. That could be the cover itself has like the entire cover is a heart, or it could just have a tiny heart kind of intertwined into the illustration on the cover somehow. And the final prompt is my only non-romance prompt, and that is a book that is a predominant friendship theme. Moving on to March, the prompt for the cover is to send a book with green or gold on the cover. We also have the prompt of mythology or folklore inspired books. March is also Women's History Month, so a book with a true story about a woman, so a nonfiction or a historical nonfiction about women. A book with an Irish author, or a book with a republished work. So for example, V.E. Schwab wrote The Near Witch and published it a while ago and then republished it, and I believe it was 2020. So a book that was republished or reproduced for the public. April is the first one, reminds me of that rhyme where it's like April showers bring May flowers. So you could do a book with rain on the cover. It's also the month of National Earth Day and Arbor Day and all those environmental things. So a book with an earth setting. It's also National Library Month. So this one's a little bit interesting. It requires you to do a little bit of research, but go to your local library and pick a book that they have on their display, and whatever book is on their display is the book you would send for your partner. Prompt number 4 is a book with an animal companion. And finally, prompt number 5 is a most recommended book. You can kind of interpret this however you desire. It could be the book that you most recommend to people, or it could be the book most recommended to you. For May, we're going back to the little poem April Showers Bring May Flowers. So for May, it would be a book with a flower on the cover. Cinco de Mayo is in May, so pick a book written by a Mexican author or with a Mexican culture theme. It's also May the 4th be with you, so pick a book from Star Wars. Asian American and Pacific Islanders month as well, so read a book with an author of that heritage or a book of that culture. And finally, April is the month of Mother's Day, so pick a book with a predominant mother figure in it. And finally, for June, I have a beach read because it is the start of summer. This is mainly when school's let out for summer break, so pick a book that you would send the person for vacation or that they might take on the beach, a beach read. It's also the month of Juneteenth, so pick a book with a Black author. And this is an obscure holiday, but it is Flag Day. So this one's interesting. If you live in the United States, pick the flag of your state and do a cover inspired by that flag. It's also Pride Month, so pick a book with an author or theme that is LGBTQIA+. And finally, pick a coming of age story because I feel like summer is always the time when people really try to reinvent themselves before heading back into the new year at school. So those are my prompts for part 1. Stay tuned for day 14, which is part 2. I have a miscellaneous video planned for tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. It was planned to go out on December 13th, so it is Taylor Swift themed, even though it is not going out on December 13th clearly, but stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye friends.